Something is happening inside your body right now that most people never notice until the damage is already done. Every habit you carry through your day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes at night, is sending a direct signal to the most powerful engine in your body, your metabolism. And here is the part that changes everything. That engine is not fixed. It is not written into your genes or sealed shut by your age. It is alive, it responds, and it listens to everything you do. But after 40, 50, or 60, the signals that slow it down get louder, and almost nobody knows which habits are quietly pulling the brakes. Some of the things destroying your metabolism right now are habits you have been told are perfectly healthy. A sluggish metabolism does not just mean weight gain. It means fatigue that will not lift, blood sugar that swings without warning, muscle that silently disappears, and energy that drains no matter how much sleep you get. Stay until the very end of this video, because the final habit I am going to share is the one almost no one ever connects to metabolism, and it may be the most important one of all. In this video, I am going to walk you through the habits that are either protecting your metabolism or slowly tearing it down. I will explain what is actually happening inside your body, what most people get completely wrong, what common mistakes are quietly making things worse, and what you can start doing today to turn this around. By the time this video ends, you will understand your metabolism in a way that most people never do, and that understanding can genuinely change how you age, how you feel, and how much energy you have to live your life fully. Let us start with something that surprises almost everyone. When people feel their metabolism has slowed down, the first thing they do is eat less. It sounds completely logical. Fewer calories in, less stored. That has been the message for decades. But here's the truth, and this is exactly where the confusion begins. For millions of people, eating too little is one of the most powerful ways to crush your metabolism, not protect it. Here is what actually happens inside your body when you dramatically cut your food intake. Your brain reads that sharp drop in calories as a threat, not a diet, a survival threat. It immediately triggers a response that has been wired into human biology for thousands of years. Your body slows down every calorie-burning process it possibly can. It lowers your body temperature slightly. It reduces the energy your organs use. It pulls back on the hormones that keep your metabolic engine running. And most critically, it begins breaking down muscle tissue to use as emergency fuel. This is the part that makes everything worse over time. Because muscle is the most metabolically active tissue in your entire body. The more muscle you carry, the more calories your body burns, even while you are sitting completely still. When muscle disappears, your metabolic rate falls further and further, creating a cycle that becomes harder to escape with every passing year. Many people over 50 have been through this cycle multiple times without ever realizing what was happening. They eat very little, lose some weight, then gain it all back, plus a little more when they return to normal eating. And each time through that cycle, they lose more muscle and gain more fat. That is not a willpower problem. That is biology performing exactly as it was designed to perform. The practical fix is straightforward. Never drop below a reasonable calorie level for your body, and make sure enough of what you eat comes from protein. Protein does something remarkable. It protects and builds muscle. It has the highest thermic effect of all nutrients, meaning your body burns more calories just digesting it, and it keeps you feeling satisfied far longer. Eggs, fish, chicken, legumes, Greek yogurt, these are not just food choices after 50. They are metabolic medicine. But the real surprise comes next. Because what you eat is only part of the story. There is something happening inside your muscles all day long that most people never think about, and it may be the single biggest driver of how fast or slow your metabolism runs. Your skeletal muscle is not just for movement, it is a metabolic organ. It absorbs glucose from your blood, stores energy, and produces powerful chemical signals called myokines that communicate with your brain, liver, and fat tissue. When you use your muscles through walking, resistance exercise, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, these chemicals are released into your bloodstream. They reduce inflammation, improve how efficiently your cells respond to insulin, and tell your body to burn fat rather than store it. When your muscles are inactive for hours at a stretch, those signals go completely quiet, and your metabolism shifts into its lowest gear. This is why sitting for long periods is now being studied as an independent risk factor for metabolic disease, separate entirely from whether you exercise. You can exercise every morning and still spend 8 or 9 hours sitting afterward. And research shows that those hours of sitting send their own negative metabolic signals, partially canceling the benefits of your earlier workout. The body does not work on a single daily score. It responds to what you are doing right now, throughout the day. The fix is not complicated at all. Break up long periods of sitting. Stand and move for a few minutes every 45 to 60 minutes. Walk around the room. Do a few gentle squats or calf raises. This is not about intensity. It is about keeping the metabolic signal alive, reminding your muscles that they are needed and active throughout the day. Now, here is why this matters even more after 50. From around the age of 30, the body naturally begins losing a small amount of muscle each decade in a process called sarcopenia. Without consistent resistance exercise and adequate protein, this loss accelerates significantly. And with every pound of muscle lost, your resting metabolic rate falls further. This is why so many people notice that the same eating habits that worked at 40 simply stop working at 55 or 60. But here is the hopeful truth, and I want you to hear this clearly. Muscle loss is not inevitable. Research consistently shows that people in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s can build meaningful muscle through consistent resistance training. Your body retains that ability far longer than most people believe. You are not too old. Your body is simply waiting for the right signals. If that surprised you, the next point is even more important because it happens while you are completely unconscious, and almost no one connects it to metabolism. Sleep. When you are in the deeper stages of sleep, your body releases a surge of growth hormone, the hormone responsible for repairing tissue, building muscle, and keeping your body composition balanced. Poor sleep disrupts this process completely. But the metabolic damage from poor sleep goes even further than that. Just a few consecutive nights of disrupted sleep significantly raises cortisol, your primary stress hormone. When cortisol stays elevated, it instructs your body to store fat, particularly the dangerous visceral fat that accumulates around your abdominal organs. It also reduces insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells become less efficient at clearing sugar from your blood. Blood sugar stays higher, more insulin gets released, and over time this creates the conditions for weight gain, fatigue, and increasing metabolic risk, all from something that felt completely unrelated to your waistline. Poor sleep also disrupts ghrelin and leptin, the two hormones that regulate your hunger. When these are thrown out of balance, your brain sends out powerful cravings for high-calorie, sugary foods throughout the next day. People who sleep poorly often feel hungry all day, even after eating full meals. This is not weakness. This is chemistry operating exactly as it is designed to. Addressing your sleep quality is one of the most powerful metabolic interventions you have available. Keep a consistent sleep and wake time every day, including weekends. Reduce screen light in the evening. Keep your bedroom cool because your core temperature needs to drop slightly for deep sleep to begin. Avoid large meals within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. And limit evening alcohol despite that familiar feeling of relaxation. Alcohol fragments your sleep architecture and dramatically reduces the time you spend in the deep, restorative stages your metabolism depends on. This is where most people make the mistake. They focus entirely on diet and exercise and wonder why their results keep stalling, never realizing that disrupted sleep is working against every other effort they are making. Metabolism is not just about food and movement. It is about the full picture of how you live every day. And that brings us to something the full picture always includes: chronic stress. Because ongoing, low-level stress is one of the least discussed and most destructive forces acting on your metabolism after the age of 40. When cortisol stays slightly elevated all day from work pressure, financial worry, health anxiety, or relationship tension, it instructs your liver to release more glucose into the blood even when you have not eaten. It promotes fat storage specifically around the abdomen. It blocks normal insulin signaling, and it actively breaks down muscle protein, pushing your body composition steadily in the wrong direction. The connection between chronic stress and belly fat accumulation is not a coincidence. It is direct, well-documented biology. And finding consistent daily ways to bring the stress response down is genuinely metabolic medicine. Breathing exercises, walking in nature, time with people you love, prayer, meditation, these lower cortisol. And lower cortisol means a healthier, more responsive metabolism. And this is the part almost nobody talks about. The timing of when you eat may matter nearly as much as what you eat. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm that governs not just sleep, but when your digestive system is primed to work, when your liver is most efficient, and when insulin sensitivity is at its peak. In the morning and early afternoon, your metabolic machinery runs at full speed. Insulin works efficiently, blood sugar is cleared quickly. But as evening approaches, these systems begin winding down as your body prepares for rest. Eating a large, heavy meal late at night forces your body to process fuel at its least efficient time. Research on meal timing consistently shows that people who eat their largest meals earlier in the day have better blood sugar control, lower body fat, and a more active metabolism than those who eat most of their calories in the evening. Shifting just one habit, moving your largest meal from dinner to lunch, can make a measurable difference over time. Now let us break a myth that has genuinely misled millions of people over 50. Many people believe that eating fat makes you fat, and that a low-fat diet is the foundation of a healthy metabolism. This idea dominated nutrition for decades, and it is simply wrong. The truth is that healthy dietary fat from olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish plays an essential role in metabolic health. Healthy fats support the production of hormones, including thyroid and sex hormones, that directly regulate your metabolic rate. They reduce systemic inflammation, which is one of the main drivers of insulin resistance. They support the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like D, K, and A, all of which play roles in how efficiently your metabolism functions. The real metabolic problem is not dietary fat. It is the combination of refined carbohydrates and added sugars, the foods that spike blood glucose rapidly, trigger large insulin responses, and promote fat storage when eaten repeatedly throughout the day. Cutting healthy fats while continuing to eat processed, sugary food is precisely backwards. Your body was designed for whole, minimally processed food, not the low-fat packaged products that have lined supermarket shelves for 40 years. Here is something else that rarely receives enough attention, and that is the health of your gut microbiome. Inside your digestive system live trillions of microorganisms that do far more than help you digest food. They communicate with your brain, influence your immune system, and play a direct role in how your body harvests energy from food, how well it burns fat, and how efficiently it manages blood sugar. People with a diverse and balanced gut microbiome tend to have more active metabolisms, better insulin sensitivity, and lower inflammation. The microbiome is deeply shaped by your daily habits. Highly processed food, chronic stress, poor sleep, and low dietary fiber all damage it. While fermented foods like plain yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi, along with fiber-rich vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, actively support and restore it, many older adults who struggle with persistent low energy, bloating, and unexplained weight changes may be dealing with a disrupted gut microbiome quietly working against their metabolism every single day. Now we have arrived at the big mistake, the one that cancels everything else, and it is this: doing all the right things in short, intense bursts, then stopping completely. Metabolism does not respond to occasional effort. It responds to consistency. The person who does a 3-week intense diet every January and then returns to old habits has not improved their metabolic health. They have put it through stress and recovery repeatedly and over years. That cycle erodes muscle, disrupts hormones, and trains the body to protect fat rather than release it. The deep metabolic improvements, better insulin sensitivity, a healthier gut microbiome, lower chronic inflammation, stronger mitochondrial function, these happen through sustained, repeated, daily habits, not through willpower spikes followed by collapse. A 20-minute walk every single day for a year does more for your metabolism than a 90-minute workout every 2 weeks. A small portion of protein at every meal does more than a perfect high-protein diet followed for 1 month. 7 to 8 hours of consistent sleep every night does more for your metabolic health than any supplement on the market. Consistency is the mechanism. It is the signal your body needs to trust that these changes are real and worth adapting to permanently. And now for the bonus tip, and this one is specifically powerful for people over 50. Morning sunlight exposure. Within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, getting natural light into your eyes, even through cloud cover anchors, your circadian clock, which governs when your metabolism is most active throughout the day. Morning light triggers a healthy timed rise in cortisol that gives you natural energy in the morning rather than the flat, foggy feeling many older adults experience. It improves melatonin timing in the evening, which deepens sleep quality. And it activates the gradual rise in core body temperature that switches your metabolic systems on for the day. 10 to 15 minutes outside or near a bright window every morning, no equipment, no cost, helps synchronize your metabolism, your hormones, your sleep, and your energy in a way that very few other habits can match. So let us bring all of this together. Your metabolism is not your destiny. It is your daily response. Every habit you practice, how much you eat and when, how much protein you include, how often you move throughout the day, how well you sleep, how you handle stress, how hydrated you stay, how you feed your gut microbiome, and how consistently you maintain these things is collectively deciding how efficiently your body burns energy, manages blood sugar, holds on to muscle, and keeps you feeling strong, clear-headed, and capable. After 40, 50, and 60, none of this becomes less important. It becomes more important. Because the compounding effect of small daily habits either working for you or against you becomes increasingly visible in your energy, your body composition, your sleep, your joints, and your ability to live well and independently. The beautiful truth is that your body is always listening. It is always ready to respond. The research is clear that meaningful metabolic improvement is possible at any age when the right signals are given consistently and patiently over time. You do not need a perfect program. You do not need to overhaul everything at once. You need the right daily habits practiced with patience and consistency, and your metabolism will shift in a direction that protects your health, your strength, and your vitality for years to come. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these habits do you feel is your biggest gap right now? Sleep, movement, protein, stress, or something else entirely? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know where you are starting from. If this video gave you a new way of thinking about your metabolism, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this information when they need it most. And if you want to keep learning how to protect your health and energy as you age, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. The next one connects directly to everything we talked about today, and I think it is going to surprise you. I will see you there.